Welcome to ET with GOTB. Before heading off to Switzerland, there is an under-19 Euros to worry about. I'm Sophie, and this is Extra Time with Girls on the Ball. It is a big summer ahead for England under-19s, led by head coach Lauren Smith. The young Lionesses are currently out in Poland competing in Group B for a spot in the semi-finals. There is also a place at next year's Under-20 Women's World Cup up for grabs. Earlier this week, I travelled out to Poland for the opener against the Netherlands, and after the game, I sat down with Lauren Smith, Viv Leier and Lexi Potter. After leaving Bristol City in September, Lauren took over the Under-19s head coach role and is currently experiencing her first major tournament with the team. We talked about how she is finding the tournament, her journey into coaching, and why she moved into international football.
It's obviously your first tournament with England. How are you finding this whole experience so far?
It's brilliant. Yeah, the support, the staff, the knowledge across everyone that's part of, not just here with us in terms of the staff, but back home and how we've got here has been incredible. And it's really blown me away since I started this role. But when you get to a finals, you really see like everyone turn it up a gear, and I feel really supported, and I'm sure the team do as well. So
I guess it's a really different experience as well, coming here to Poland, being in a hotel with all of the other coaches and teams as well. I guess it's the same as last year, and also just being away from home for so long. And I know you have camps, for like a week, 10-day periods, but this is different, isn't it?
Yeah, because you want to be here for longer, whereas, normally you're going home after 3 games. Nobody wants to do that now. But I guess that experience of everybody settling in has happened differently to when you're in just a normal 10-day camp, when you'd know that you got 3 games, 3 sessions, and then you're out again. This is more about staying longer, making sure that you feel at home. There's all the daily battles, being with different teams in the hotel, and I think it's actually a great experience for the players to move on after that as well.
I guess being in a different country as well. How have you found Poland so far?
Poland's great. I mean, last time I visited it was rainy, so it looks more beautiful now, which is great. But I think it's a really organised country when we've done everything they're prepared for us, and everything's working out well at the moment for us, which is great. So they've provided what we need, and as a country with the sun out, looks great.
It's your first, as I said before, it's your first tournament in England, but you've got quite a few players who've had tournament experience at different levels. You've got a cohort from last summer who got to the semi-finals, obviously then 17s at the World Cup. Have they helped at all in kind of managing this whole experience?
Yeah, I think the best part of that is they've already done this before, so they've got like a level of knowledge and experience that you don't have to start from scratch with everyone. So they already know what to expect, what to pack, how to act, how to prepare themselves. Those things really help. And then for the players that have never had a tournament experience, they help guide them through it, and that's really important. It's not about they've got to enjoy what they do, and that's always been kind of my motto in terms of coaching anyway. So they need to come out here, spend time with people you don't normally do. You don't see the people that your family back home, and you've got to wrap around each other to make sure it's a nice experience, but also not just a nice experience, one that gets us to win.
And you mentioned yesterday you had like 3 or 4 weeks training coming into this tournament. Now you probably haven't had with this group yet. So how did that help? I guess not just on the pitch in terms of relationships and building tactics and analysis and all that, but the kind of bonding off the pitch side of things.
Yeah, we played Germany in the first prep camp, which allowed us to have quite a few sessions before it and then have a little go. Which we don't normally get to do in camps, especially when we've got 3 games in 10 days. So that was great in terms of getting the tactics, like you say, or the principles even. We normally have to go straight to game plan without doing the stuff before. So there's a nice opportunity to do that. But equally, we've had to spend quite a lot of time together. So you get over the niggles maybe first, or you get used to who's your roommate, if it's the players, for example. So I think it's allowed them to settle in. And we also had little breaks as well. So we came back from Germany and they had a few days off back home, and then they're back together. So they kind of have that like little bit of respite in between, but also knowing, they all want to be here. Yeah. So there's no way around it really. You kind of have to get on with it.
Sure. Talk to me about your journey into coaching, because I obviously know you from Bristol, but how did you first get started? What made you want to become a football coach?
Depends which story I go with here. I had some great coaches when I was younger, and I grew up in Mid Wales, and I played for a club called Newtown. And my coach there probably was my first inspiration, and she got me coaching the 10s and the 12s there while I was playing for the senior team. Like, you could play up 14 then, couldn't you? So I was in and around football, like almost, it felt like every night of the week, because I loved it. Then I went to university and carried on playing, really, and it was probably after university I started doing my badges, but after university I just didn't enjoy all of the coaches after that point, but also recognised that I didn't have a football career. I didn't have it in me, I don't think, in terms of both on the pitch, off the pitch, to make it as a professional player. So, but I really enjoyed coaching, and I wanted to do better for my teammates, I guess. So I just kind of went down leadership and coaching from that point onwards, and haven't really looked back. I look and think I'm really lucky at how I've got here. I've had really good opportunities and I've grabbed them. And I like learning different ways of doing things and just opening my mind to those that do it differently. Whether you like it or don't like it, it's good to figure it out, and then you know which direction you want to go in. So that's how I've ended up sitting right here with you now.
And you've gone from Bristol to Wales at youth levels, back to Bristol again as head coach. That time at Bristol, we went from the highs of, winning the championship, getting promotion, to, I guess, the lows of that relegation campaign. What was the biggest learnings of you yourself as a coach in that time?
Yeah, that's a really tough question, actually. There were so many things. I love looking back at my time at Bristol. It feels like a family. It felt like a family, and it still does. And we always talked about how when you leave Bristol, you never really leave. So you have these connections that you go through, and I think we built them so strong in that championship winning year that my learning was, when you have a great team around you, sometimes the football doesn't have to be brilliant, but you'll get what you deserve because you've got a really good team ethic. But that's not enough at the top level. So when we go to the WSL, we had a great team ethic and we worked hard for each other, but it still wasn't enough. So the learning really is, if you get team and performance at high quality, all of those things together, that's where you can get excellence. And that's like the challenge, I guess, for every coach. It's really obvious when you say it that way, but when you experience it and you feel it, the power of a really strong team is special.
Yeah.
So you've got to recreate a specialness that's not that easy to recreate.
Yeah, it's that balance, isn't it, between, like, I guess, the extra quality that was needed for the WSL levels at times, and then, as you say, having that Bristol ethic that has run through that team for a very long time. So that spirit. Then you chose to come back to international level. What was it about that opportunity here at England that made you want to leave the domestic game and come back?
There's a few bits. I think it was the right time to leave Bristol, because I'd gone as far as I could in my journey there, and I think that the players needed something fresh. So it was fair on both of us at that point to find something new. When I was looking for a new opportunity, different things pop up, domestic game, internationally, etc. But what it was about this role was, I loved working with youth players. That was always obvious, I think, when I was at Wales, when I was at Bristol. Like, that's kind of been my driving force, to help guide, I guess. So the youth bit interested me, but also the thing I spoke about at the start, the support that you get in this role, with such a highly ranked nation and a nation chasing excellence. That was something new for me, like the wraparound support. I wanted to experience and learn from all of these people with all of this incredible experience and knowledge. So that's where it became really the best choice for me. So I get to learn from others that think differently, and I'm not always around in the domestic game. I get to still do loads of games, which I love game day, which is the best thing about international football. Some people think it's the worst, but at that time I needed games and, probably less grass time and more focusing on the tactical element, which I'm really enjoying. So it just kind of worked out at that point. And the aim of coming to a finals, I'd never done that. I like doing things I've never done. And then obviously with the we want to get to the World Cup next year, and that was the aim of it, which is got my eyes firmly set on.
Sure. And I guess in terms of that and dealing with people from different players from different circumstances and playing different kinds of minutes as well, you've got some in senior football, some who have had to go out on loan to get minutes this season. how do you, because I can imagine it's quite a fine balance in terms of managing each program, but also as a collective when you come together?
Yeah, we've got to look at what they've been doing beforehand, how ready they are for how many games in a short period of time is important. And again, it goes back to that individual bit. It's not just about the person. We have to treat them as individuals and what they're coming out of and into. Like some might have had a couple of niggles or injuries this season. That means that they're maybe not as robust right now at this point as the rest of the players might be. So everything's about adjusting and making sure that we've got like teams ready to perform. And at this point in the tournament, it's about freshness and making sure they feel brilliant by match day, every single match day, so that they can run their socks off and go again.
Hard in the heat as well.
Yeah.
And then just, has anything surprised you about this group of players during this tournament?
Well, I did put a question mark on what we were like, our comeback ability, our resilience, I guess, to go in a goal down. So, yeah, yesterday. It didn't surprise me. I knew that we'd had it in us, but we just hadn't done it well in that situation. So the fact that it happened yesterday, it's a good surprise.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So it was great to hear from Lauren there. Next up, I talked to Arsenal youngster Viv Leier, a product of the Arsenal Academy. Viv signed her first pro deal with the club earlier this year before heading out on loan to Southampton. She was also part of last year's under-19s who reached the semi-finals. Here's what she had to say.
How have you found the preparations for this tournament? Because it's probably been a bit longer than what you're used to. You normally come into camp, for a week, 10 days at a time. You've had a good few weeks building up to this. You went to Germany. How has that preparation been?
Yeah, the preparation was really good. I think I guess it builds up excitement as well, but we put in a lot of work and we worked really hard in the different prep camps that we had. Of course, yeah, it was spaced out, a bit different than we're used to. But no, it was really good to prepare with the team, get in together, and it feels like we've just created a really good bond together as well, off the pitch, but also, yeah, on the pitch, building those connections. So it's been really good.
That's really important, isn't it? Because we all think about the football on the pitch, but it's actually, you come away for quite a long time, hopefully to the end of the tournament. You really need to get on away from the field. How does this group feel compared to maybe last group, or have you feel that you developed in confidence in this setup?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been a different type of year anyway because of the Under-17s World Cup, so the group joining in later on. But I think because we all know each other and we've all played with each other at some point, it's been really good to just reconnect again and just rebuild those relationships. But yeah, no, it feels really good, and those prep camps has helped a lot as well. Not only, of course, the round 1, round 2, etc., but these prep camps have really been the last building blocks to help us going into this tournament.
You're obviously part of the cohort that got to the semi-finals last year. Obviously, losing to Spain, I know they were the winners. They are dominant at this level. But I guess when you look back at that tournament, what were your biggest learnings as a player?
I think there's always so much that you can take from those tournaments. I think, of course, off the pitch and on the pitch, building those connections off the pitch. I think that probably made me realise how important it is to play on the pitch together. But no, yeah, playing against Spain was. You take a lot of lessons from that anyway, and it makes you hungrier going into this tournament to, I guess, get the result and to keep building towards the tournament. But yeah, no, lots of lessons taken from last year, but it only builds more confidence knowing that you're prepared and you've gone through last year and you can help out the younger players, I guess, in the team and pass on that experience, I guess, to them as well.
For sure, and for you, it's been a really big year as well. Signing your first pro deal with Arsenal. I guess, coming into the senior setup towards the end of last year campaign and then, going on loan to Southampton. How have you felt this year has gone the last 12 months?
Yeah, I think it's been a lot of development, lots of learning again and lots of growth. I think everyone's journey is different and I just have to embrace my own and control what I can control and just learn as much as possible because I'm still young. Of course, it's a privilege to sign a pro at Arsenal. It's a dream, for me anyway, but it just makes me hungrier to push on and try and break into that first team and make a name for myself in the senior game as well. But yeah, that Southampton loan was really vital for me to get that senior exposure and to play matches and just keep pushing myself outside of my comfort zone so I keep growing.
I guess to prepare you for this tournament as well, it's really vital to get minutes under the belt and get that experience in game to prepare for what you might come up against in the next 10 days.
Yeah, definitely. I think those senior matches have really exposed me a lot to a different side of the game. I guess more physical, more faster, a bit more ruthless as well. In a sense, you have to win games and you have to there's more on the line, I guess. So that's been really vital. And of course, going into tournament football, it's the exact same. You have to win games. There's so much on the line, so much that you work for, and just playing for each other as well. It's the importance of that too.
Talk to me about your journey into football. How did you get started? Obviously, you joined the Arsenal Academy as well. What has been that process been like?
Yeah, so I always laugh about this story. Like, I joined quite late, but when I look back at it, it wasn't that late. Like, I joined like a team at 10 years old. But at the time when I joined the team, I thought it was quite late. Played grassroots for like a year, and then I got into the setup.
And what has that process through Arsenal? They've developed so many good young talent coming through, especially to the England level. What's that process been like for you?
So like important for me. I think that the setup is very unique. Like, it's very good that it pushes individuals and also the team. Like, they value like the person off the pitch just as much as like the player. So no, that environment has been so crucial for my development, just because of how much they push you outside of your comfort zone, how much they highlight your strengths, but also areas that you need to develop that will help you keep growing and getting better. But they also, I guess, emphasize how important it is rather to grow and to keep getting better and seeking to learn. So no, the academy environment is done so much for my career.
I guess it really helps as well, especially at this level as well at England, where you come through with Leier, Michelle, Maddie as well, Earl. There's a good group of you that have really come through this together. You get to experience these things together. That must give you a lot of support.
Yeah, definitely. I think we all support each other a lot because we're all very close off the pitch as well. So to go on that journey together is just, it's also inspiring. Like, you look at Michelle as well now, like seeing her call up into the Euros, like it's just inspiring to see. But also knowing that we're all so close off the pitch, we're all very similar people, and we see each other as people as well. But we also see how hard we work, and that's inspiring and motivating to keep pushing yourself to a different level.
For sure. Coming back to the tournament here, how do you find the kind of switching between opponents? It's quick turnaround between games. I guess it's a lot of information to take on. How do you find that part of the game?
Yeah, I think it's exciting. It's just part of tournament football, like putting aside the game that you've just played and then going into the next one.
And I guess, I know the goal is to win this tournament, but there's also the Under-20 World Cup place up for grabs.
Yeah.
How much of a motivation is that extra?
Yeah, it's a huge motivation. Of course, like, our main goal is to win the Euros this year. But we do have our eyes on the Under-20s World Cup, and we know how important it is for us to qualify for that. So we're just taking it step by step, game by game, and focusing on our objectives for each stage.
And finally, just playing for England, what does it mean for you?
It's amazing. Like, it's a dream come true at whatever level. Like, it's still a privilege whatever level you play at, and it's what you dream of when you're younger, to play for your country, to represent your country. And yeah, it's amazing. Like, you work so hard for it, and you want to. It feels like an opportunity to display like your strengths, but also display the team and represent what we value as a nation as well, and our style of playing, to put that out there. So no, it's a privilege.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, and best of luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
It was so good to hear from Viv there. Finally, I spoke to Chelsea's Lexi Potter. Coming through the Chelsea setup, Lexi stood out on loan at Crystal Palace last season, and this is her third Euros in a row. Here's what she had to say.
Hi, Lexi. How are you finding tournament life?
Yeah, really good. Good start, and good to get the tournament off in a good, positive way with the win. Yeah, it's nice here. It's really hot, but yeah, ready to go.
How do you feel your role is developing in this midfield? You were playing next to Leier yesterday. I know you know each other very well. You've played together in tournaments for a long time. So how's that partnership?
Yeah, it's good. We've obviously played together and known each other since we were young, and we are best friends. So yeah, it's really nice to be on the pitch together and create special memories. I think we work well together, we understand each other's games. And I think, we like to pass between each other, and when one goes, the other one covers, and vice versa.
And as I say, as you played together, are you still learning off each other in terms of the different games that you have and the different styles that you have?
Yeah, I mean, I think she's a top player, and I love watching her play football and learning off her. And to be best friends and go to tournaments together, can't really ask for much more.
For sure. This is your third Euros in a row. Have you found each experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously amazing to come to tournaments. The main tournaments is what you look forward to the most. And to have 3 back-to-backs, obviously very exciting. It's something you work hard for all year. And it's in the back of your mind when you're qualifying to want to have another experience like it. I think each year, I've grown as a person, as a player, and it's just when you come to these tournaments, wanting to go that step further each time and displaying the best version of myself.
So you got to the semi-finals last year. I know the defeat to Spain was a sad moment, but I guess you must have learned so much from that game and that experience. How do you think you've developed over this last 12 months?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously a tough one to take, losing that game. But, you know, like, learning is the most important thing, and you can't really ask for much more than that. I've obviously worked for myself a lot, and always had in the back of my mind that game, and like wanting to go that step further and beat them and get into the final, because obviously in the 17s as well, it was the same score. But yeah, like, I've gone away and worked myself, like I've gone on loan and like got WSL experience. So yeah.
I was going to ask about that experience at Crystal Palace this season. To get minutes week in, week out in the WSL, how did that go? And I know, you know, the ultimate result wasn't what you wanted, but for you personally, as a young player coming through?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it didn't end how we wanted it to end, but to go on loan and be able to get that many minutes in the top league and playing against like the best players in the world, you can't really ask for much more than that. I feel like I matured a lot on and off the pitch, and my game style improved massively, like in possession and out of possession. And yeah, it was really positive and really grateful for it.
Talk to me about your journey into football, because you're obviously with the Chelsea academy, and then coming into the senior setup. I hope eventually. So, what has that been like, that journey?
Yeah, it's been good. I started playing football when I was like 5 or 6 with my brother. And then I went to Chelsea and I tried, and then I came up through the academy. And then I signed my first professional contract when I was 17, and it allowed me to go on loan last season's Palace. And then, having won the championship, it just made sense for me to go back there and have the opportunity to play.
And I guess, what has Chelsea given you as a youth setup? I mean, does it help that, you know, there's others around you who've come through as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at the likes of Aggie Weaver-Jones, like, she's the role model and like the prime example that you look up to, and hopefully I'll be able to follow in her footsteps in going on loan and then breaking into the first team from that. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd be the same person or player having not been at Chelsea. Like, I feel like it's really shaped me into the person I am, and like the morals I have and stuff.
And in terms of your biggest attributes as a player, what do you say there?
Feel like in possession, like I like to be on the ball, like I'm quite technical and I like to pass the ball forward. And I feel like out of possession, winning tackles and like breaking up play.
For sure. In terms of this tournament, the visibility around it grows every year, it seems. You know, it's on the BBC back home. Do you find that exciting as a player?
Yeah, of course. I think like having the opportunity to have exposure for people to watch the game, it obviously helps it to grow. And I think, like, on a personal note, having that exposure, it just allows you to show the best version of yourself to as many people as you can, which is obviously good.
For sure. In terms of coaches, and so you worked under several coaches in the youth setup, you now got Lauren coming this season. What she brought to this team?
She's very calm, but she can get her point across very well when she needs to, and she's very direct in what she wants to do or what needs to change. But yeah, she's a top coach, and yeah, I really like her.
In terms of managing a tournament, on the pitch maybe is easier than off the pitch. You've got time off. How do you fill your spare time?
We like to go out, eat some food, you know, like a bit of difference to the tournament menu. Go out, do some shopping and spend time. Our families are out here, so go out with them and spend a bit of time and make some memories.
That's really important, having that support, isn't it, from home?
Yeah, I love it. Like, my family always come, my mum, my brothers. Yeah, I love it like that, and I wouldn't want it any other way, because you'll never get these moments back.
It's a short turnaround. Do you enjoy that, trying to prepare for different opposition in quite that quick time?
Yeah, I really like the quick turnaround, because it's like one game done, tick that off, and then focuses then on the next one, like clear up what we thought went well and what went wrong, and then we have the opportunity to display it. And then the next few days, it's just like making sure we're getting the right recovery in, and then preparing ourselves for the next game.
When you're playing for England, obviously it's a dream to play for England.
Yeah.
How proud are you to play for England?
Yeah, I'm so proud. Like, ever since I was a young girl, it's been my dream to play for England, and especially in like major tournaments at youth level. You obviously want to go to them and win them, and having the opportunity to do that like drives me every day. Like, to get up and work hard and like prove myself, you know what I mean, and like hopefully make that dream come true.
And I guess the added bonus to this tournament is that you could potentially qualify for the World Cup next year. That's big as well, isn't it?
Yeah, massive. Like, the thought of a World Cup at youth level, can't really ask for much more. Like, coming to the Euros every year, like, there's so much excitement and buzz around it. So fingers crossed, like, hopefully to have that opportunity to go to a World Cup and play against different oppositions that we don't usually play against. would be the dream.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Good luck.
So it's brilliant to hear from Lexi there. Thanks to all three of them for sitting down with me. There were some brilliant insights into an under-19s tournament. This pod is going out on Friday, which means the young Lionesses have one more group game to play. With a win against the Netherlands and defeat to Portugal, the stakes don't get much higher than when they face Spain on Saturday. You can watch the game on BBC iPlayer and BBC Sport. I would have loved to have travelled back out for this one, but there is quite a lot going on at the moment, including the Senior Euros that is looming on the horizon. We are heading out to Switzerland on Monday, so make sure that you are subscribed across all our channels so that you don't miss any of the content that we will be bringing you. See you again very soon.